He's done stuff like that, and I think LeBron, he's got more fire there than people might think. He just maybe doesn't display it publicly all the time, and sometimes he displays it publicly, and he's probably really upset that they lost by 40. But at the same time, the other players have a right to be upset because management basically said, none of you are worth anything if you're not named LeBron James, and we'll ship all of you plus picks, plus cash, plus Doritos, plus whatever to the Pelicans if we can get Anthony Davis, which, by the way, I think is stupid. Anthony Davis is a good player, but he's not the type of player that is going to be him and LeBron James and then a bunch of guys that they get out of the homeless shelter in Los Angeles. It's not going to work that way. You are not going to beat the Warriors that way, and you're not going to beat the Celtics that way. And upcoming, when the Knicks, I think, get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, you're not going to beat them that way. So I think the Pelicans, you're right, played a game, and the Lakers lost the game. It's a horrible look for LeBron, and it's a horrible look for the league. And quite frankly, I'm glad it didn't happen.
LeBron's had not a great week, and Clutch has had even a worse week because now they've started all this chaos thinking that they were just going to push the Pelicans into a trade. They had this open window. Boston couldn't get involved. What were the Pelicans else going to do but just bow to the Lakers and take their young guys and some picks? I think it backfired on them because I don't think that they expected this to happen. There's no way they released this information and they leaked this information to Woj when they did if they didn't think it was going to happen by the trade deadline. I really feel like they felt they could get AD on this team and LeBron was going to have 4 seasons with the Lakers with Anthony Davis. And now they're going to really have to work hard this offseason to get him even in a Laker jersey next year. It could be
it's not gonna happen.
2 years down the road before he's a Laker.
It's not going to happen.
And now you look at what damage has been done to this Laker team, because I think Thursday night was huge for them with Rondo hitting that game winner, because moments like that can sort of, we always talk about the ultimate deodorant is winning. It kind of covers up anything. When you go to Indy, a team that was horrible since Oladipo got hurt, and you get whipped by 42, the worst loss in LeBron's career, that's a bad look. It makes the team look like it's falling apart at the seams. So maybe Thursday night brings this team back together for what happened hitting a game winner.
Here's a question for you real quick, Justin, because LeBron didn't play terrible in Indy. He didn't play great, but he didn't play terrible. The other players played pretty bad. I wonder if they were sending a message to Magic Johnson and management like, look, if this is how it's going to be, we can just tank.
Well, it doesn't help when you're a guy like Brandon Ingram and you're standing at the free throw line and the crowd's chanting, LeBron's going to trade you.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And JaVale McGee gets up and goes, you're not worth trading. So there's stuff like that is going on in the moment. At that point, your pre-trade deadline, so all these guys are potentially at risk. And you talked about it. All these guys on the Lakers team are either young guys or they're veteran guys. So they're either young guys that have never experienced this and their whole lives have been told how great they are and everybody wants them, or you have veteran guys that came in just to try to make a playoff run and maybe win a title. And now all of them are at risk of being shipped to somewhere that's not going to win in some city, and they're going to have to get up and move. And if you've ever had a job where, you have a lingering layoff or noise that's out there of a potential shakeup, it affects you. It affects your job. And all these guys have never experienced that before. The younger guys and the older guys, you feel like there's already been issues even post Saturday night when they were in Golden State with a dust up in the locker room with some of the veterans and Luke Walton. So I think Thursday night was a big win for this team.
Yeah,
to see
they all played well,
galvanize them. And I think, Eric, they all played well. And they all know now that they're basically safe until the offseason. So at least they should feel there. But LeBron's definitely going to have to do a better job of leadership, telling his team to stay off social media and then going on it and basically talking about how proud he was of himself for being 5th on the all-time scoring list after losing by 42. That's not a good look.
No, it wasn't.
Going on and bitching about Harrison Barnes getting traded and how this is a horrible business when you and your management team just put every other Laker on notice that they can be traded. That is not a good look either. I mean, I text you, and this guy just has no self-awareness. He points out the most obvious things. I mean, I thought Anthony Davis's dad's comments were bad enough about Boston not showing loyalty to IT when his son wants out of a deal 18 months early. But I think LeBron was like, okay, hold my beer. And he just went at it on Twitter. And
it's funny, though, because I think he's actually, for 13 years, he's had a lot of self-awareness, to be honest with you. I think since he's gone to LA, it's gotten much worse. I think he's just,
well, gee,
he's
gone the Hollywood route.
Well, yeah, he has zero F's to give anymore, I think is basically it, because his point about, Barnes, I don't think it was wrong. His point, his greater point there is that you can play for a team and give your all, and you can be shipped out the door without a moment's notice. So I think, and look, I'm not saying he's totally right, but I'm saying I understand what he was getting at. The timing of it is tone deaf. Everything going on with the Lakers at this time is tone deaf when he's making comments like that. I think you're 100% correct on that. But he's also correct that you can play a career in athletics and think you've got your life together and you're doing well for a team, and then they can just tomorrow trade you.
Yeah.
And I think that was his point. But you're right. It's for this day and this time right now, it's tone deaf because of everything that he's driving with the Lakers.
Well, yeah. I mean, Marc Gasol could go on Instagram and talk about that because he was loyal to the Grizzlies and then they traded him. Harrison Barnes could have talked about that. LeBron, I don't feel like, it's the right message and it's something everybody is aware of. But the fact is, your whole team right now, it was at that time in a shambles because they all thought that they were at risk of being traded when they were all under contract there. So it just feels like it just wasn't the right message at the time.
No. And where he's wrong is that you can't give the players all that leverage either. I think where you and I are both at right now with all this AD stuff and LeBron and Kevin Durant and everything else is that you can't totally flip sides and give the players all the leverage, which I feel is the way the NBA is going. And like you said a minute ago, there's some guys in the NFL that try to do it. Earl Thomas, Le'Veon Bell, things like that. But for the most part, the owners, the franchises, they are in control. In the NBA, it's starting to slide the other way. And that's where I think LeBron is wrong. You are a professional athlete and you are an employee of the franchise for which you play, and they are allowed to trade you. So I get it, but he's also wrong on that aspect too, because you don't want the players to have all the power.
No, and he's also wrong from the standpoint that, okay, Harrison Barnes got traded, but he keeps his contract. This isn't like the NFL where these guys sign a deal and then once their money has run out in terms of the guaranteed money, then they're at risk of being cut. Every NBA deal that's signed, no matter how good or bad it is, it's guaranteed. So Harrison Barnes is going to go to Sacramento. He'll probably get a luxury condo or a rental, and he'll stay there. And next year, he's on the books for $25 million. He's not going to lose that money. Marc Gasol's got a player option for $25 million, $26 million next year. He's not going to lose that money if he wants. So, yes, it's unfair that these guys have to get up, but they're not giving up money. I think that's the other side of it. And Eric, you mentioned the name, Kevin Durant. What do you think about his rant this week post-game with his talk about the media?
Well, I put something on Twitter, and then I think you disagreed with me, so I think we might have a somewhat disagreement on this. And I'm not a Kevin Durant fan, and that's not because I don't think he's a great player. Actually, I think he's right now, it's LeBron, Durant, James Harden, obviously Steph Curry, Russ Westbrook, those guys. I wouldn't even put AD yet in, the top 10 right now. There's lots of other guys even before that. Durant
Lonzo
is, if LeBron's 1A, Lonzo Ball. If LeBron's 1A and Durant's 1B, barely. So Durant, respect the heck out of him as a basketball player. I just haven't been a fan necessarily. But on this, I kind of empathize with him a little bit because it's like, look, I come in, I'm on a winning organization. We do our job day in and day out. And all you guys in the media want to talk about is where I'm going next year or who I'm signing with. And then I think where I started to have more empathy with him is that he talked about his teammates being asked in the post-game pressers about where he's going. And I think that's where he's kind of frustrated. It's like, look, we come into these post-game interviews and you're talking to my teammates, you're talking to me, and you never want to talk about the game. You're always asking where I want to go. And half of it's just so that you guys can write your stories. I kind of get what he's saying there.
I don't.
Okay.
No, like you have that person, that always talks about how they want to lose weight, but then every time you see them, they're like stuffing McDonald's in their face, or they're bragging about they're sitting down, how they're never working out and all this stuff. And they sort of bring their problems onto themselves.
Sure.
See Kevin Durant, when you want to sign 1-year deals and you don't want to acknowledge the fact that you want to stay in the city that you're at the following year, you're going to open it up where shows and writers and everyone else is going to start to speculate about your future.
Okay.
And this is a guy that has brought all this on, even the burner accounts. Kevin Durant has brought a lot of heat on himself.
Yeah.
You've never heard Kevin Durant say, I'd love to win 3 titles in a row. The team's moving to a new arena next year. We might have a chance to win 4 in a row. I just want to get to 3 at this point and then assess where we're at. But he doesn't do that. He just continues to just let this fire rumble. And then he wants to get mad that people talk about it. Well, dude, people are making connections with your agent and New York. People are making connections of the guy that drafted you in Seattle that's now in the Knicks front office. There's a lot of things that are going on that people make ties to. That's the media's job, is to do that. It's to create stories. If you continue to go out, Kyrie's doing the same thing. Ask me about my free agency July 1st. Well, first of all, you said if Boston would have you back, you'd sign there. Then you call LeBron and you apologize. Then you guys are doing some weird head nod, and he's got to make sure he drafts you on his all-star team. You're creating stories. Just put the fire out. Hell, lie to the media. You know what? I fully plan on signing with the Warriors this offseason. And then if you get to the offseason, then change your tone. You'll get killed for a couple days, but you won't deal with it every single day. By not talking about it and signing one-year deals, LeBron did the same thing. Every time you sign a one-year deal, a 1+1, people go, well, what's going to happen?
Yep.
These guys go to a different city. They have media at the shoot-around. They have normally media after the game. They have all these reporters from Portland, from Utah, from wherever. Hey, what are you thinking about next year? What's going to factor in? Everybody wants that story. So yeah, he gets tired of it, but if you just come out and put a stop to it, you wouldn't have to do it. And look, I understand that he doesn't maybe want to get in the position of signing a 3 or 4 year deal and then pulling an AD. He wants to keep his options open. But part of keeping your options open is people are going to wonder where one of the best NBA players in the world is going to play next year, especially when a team like the Knicks just opened up 2 max cap spots.
Well, I tell you why I respect the heck out of your answer, because I know that you and I for years have gone back and forth on the LeBron James thing, and I've always been a LeBron apologist. He's my favorite player of all time. There's becoming more and more things that off the court or even in these business dealings that I don't side with LeBron on, but he's definitely my favorite player. And, between you and me, it's always been the MJ LeBron thing. I respect the heck out of the fact that you're willing to talk about another player and pick out the same issues and say, yeah, I don't like it when Durant does it either. And I don't like it when, so I love that. So I want to ask you, here we are, we've got the Knicks, we've got the Boston Celtics, we've got the Clippers. My speculation now at this point is that the Lakers, come the end of the season, are going to be in big trouble, because I think none of this is going to work out the way that they think. Obviously, the Clippers have traded away enough pieces that they're not going to be heavy into the trade aspect of the summer, but they've got a lot of cap space to where they can lure guys who are free agents. The Knicks, the same thing. Then you've got Boston, who can become trade players, which is what the Pelicans were waiting for. And I think the Lakers, now that they've floated out all of those young guys, I don't think the Pelicans are going to then all of a sudden take those 4 or 5 guys in the summer when they've got other options and other pieces that might look better to them. I think the Lakers, Justin, I think they could be in rough shape come the summer. They might get a guy like a Klay Thompson to sign over there, or they might get a guy, I think you were throwing me this week, maybe a Kemba Walker, but I don't think they're going to get the guys that maybe LeBron and Clutch and others thought they were going to. Justin, do you think my guy is somewhat blackballed in the league, either by other star players, or it sounds to me by Popovich and others that maybe he's also getting blackballed by some teams who are saying, look, this guy's been to 9 finals, 8 in a row, no more. We're sending star players somewhere else.
Well, look, the power struggle is real. And look, and agents have done this throughout. There's been all kinds of dealings that's happened. You take this guy. I mean, I fully believe that the Lakers knew they were getting LeBron James.
I agree.
Well in advance of when the public did.
I agree.
Because of the fact that they gave KCP such a massive deal. I think it was one of those, look, LeBron's going to leave.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to be coming here. Can you guys hook us up for KCP? They gave him like $20 million last year. They kept signing him to those 1-year huge deals. To me, it feels like, hey, you scratch our back, we'll make sure that you land the big fish in free agency. And then they started working on the AD side, and I don't think they had any idea that it wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, when you look at the landscape now, Kawhi Leonard does